Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willie. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to hear your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We're going to have a great show for you today. It's Friday. I know people are tired. They're concerned. We're doing all kinds of crazy things around the world. Donald Trump is blowing stuff up and declaring a war in South America. Wow. The guy that said he wouldn't do wars is declaring wars. Anyway, we are going to talk some important stuff today. How are all my peeps doing? I trust everybody's doing fine. Welcome aboard. Let me get all this stuff resynced and put together. It seems like let me see if those connections are going through appropriately. Yeah, it looks like we're streaming, but I don't see the Substack very well, but we have the other ones going and ready to go. Welcome aboard. El Señor Michael Radin, numero uno, is in the house from from Brooklyn, New York. We also have in the house scrolling down, Lee the Bearcat, Austin, Texas. Yvette Avery Herod, Atlanta, Georgia. La Preciosa, the beautiful. Oh, sorry about that echo. I don't know what caused it. I hope it's gone by now. Lee Grant from Montgomery County. Eric Hayes from Kingwood, Atascocita. Great. All right. Anyway, folks, we're going to have a good one for you. It seems like our Substack is a bit slowed down. I'm not exactly sure. Let me look at it on the cell phone to see if the Substack is working better than it is showing on the screen. And I search as we go. Let's see. Yeah, there seems to be, who knows? I seem to be throttling, but we'll see. All right. Anyway, folks, we're going to have a great show. Let's see if Rodnin has on the stack. CBS News. Pope Leo XIV says those against abortion but in favor of the death penalty are not really pro-life. Didn't I play that yesterday? Did I play that yesterday or not? I thought I played that yesterday because I should. I'll look and see if I did, but I think I played that yesterday. New Pope talks about complexity of pro-life hypocrisy. Just so you know, I disagree. It's not complex. Don't be a hateful a-hole. If you hate immigrants and refugees, you're not a Christian. If you hate women, you are not a Christian. Egberto, first of 3 videos I hope you can play. I am hesitant to play videos. Sorry about that, Michael, because I am, the TikTok videos I go for, but the ones that are, outside sometimes in YouTube, I don't, and that's because they usually have some signatures in there that cause problems. Let's see, Michael also. So why is the government shut down? How Medicaid, Obamacare, and now that one I'd like to play. If you can find me that video, and I was supposed to have it queued up and forgot to queue it up. If you can give me the link to the video from Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders, that is a great 2 minutes. Oh, there you go. You had it. I'm so proud of you, Michael. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. All right, Republicans and Democrats in the showdown. Congress does not act by the end of the year. Health insurance costs will increase dramatically for 24 million people, and it's going to be more than 24 million people. I just want you guys to know that. The impact would be most acute in red states that have not expanded the Medicare expansion to the Affordable Care Act. It's 17 million Americans losing their health care. That's worth fighting for. Republicans talking about illegal immigrants. Thank you for that. All right, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and see if I can cue that one up to play, because that one that Ocasio-Cortez Okay, I didn't. Wow. Michael, the one that you just showed with Ocasio-Cortez is from Now This. And Now This gives me hits. That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that has the two of them walking in the park. Now This has a tendency, because they put some music in there, it kind of messes with the algorithm. All right, let's see what else have we got here. What else have we got here? What else have we got here? Para ver. Okay, I tell you what. I'm going to play my morning rant for this morning. And while I do that, I'm going to go searching for the other video that I'm talking about so that I can bring that to you guys. So let's start there. And then I'll find that video and bring it to you all. It's a good video, and I think it's one that we all should be sharing. So let's go ahead and get started. They want you to get used to seeing these masked people, because when they have these masked people in front of polling locations and brown people go out there to the polls, and they can do one of two things: scare brown people from not going to the polls, or when some go to the polls, put them down on the ground under. The Supreme Court has given them permission to do profiling, color profiling. The Supreme Court has given them the opportunity to do that. The funny thing about that is, talking about people voting, illegal folk or undocumented folk voting is a joke. The last thing undocumented folks want to do is to be found anywhere close to where their identities must be revealed. That's the insanity and the silliness of thinking that we have undocumented people voting in mass. It is such a, anybody who believes that, they're defying your intelligence. If you believe that, they have made you dumb. Because the last thing people that are here undocumented want to do is show their faces into places where they can be caught. We have to start learning some humanity in these people who enforce the laws. Because again, the enforcers of the laws in this country put a penalty on hue, which means those of particular hues can be treated a certain way. Today is Hispanic Heritage Day at my daughter's school, and this morning I got up and I was Mayana was a bit worried because I checked in late doing all our mic checks, etc., because I was helping my daughter put her pollera. For Panamanians out there, yes, my daughter is going to school with her pollera. The pollera is the dress that we use in Panama. It's a very colorful, flowery dress with sort of beads in your hair, etc. And she's now a teacher in middle school, and we're doing the Hispanic Heritage Day. And in doing all of that and putting all this, I saw she's beautiful with this dress on. It's a Panamanian thing on, and I'm just looking at how beautiful she looks. And then I said, "Wow! Suppose it's the day that I stands in front of that school. Are they gonna try to throw down my daughter who's paralyzed on the left side and harm my daughter? What would I do then? Because her school is heavily Latino, right? So I am thinking she's putting her dress on. I hope this isn't the day those thugs decide to come out there and mess with people. I sure hope so. But the thing is, I want my white brothers and sisters that are listening right now. My daughter is a born American citizen. There are a lot of those Latinos that are in her school, born American citizens. And you never have to sit back and think, if when that eye sees you, if they're likely to hold you down, throw you to the floor, bust your face up on the ground as they throw you down. But every one of those kids, I guarantee you, their parents told them, remember, be on your best behavior, be on the lookout, and so much special instructions that they are going to carry on their shoulders to go to school every day until the thuggery, the evil that we have administered in this country is no more. Empathy. All of you that are listening to me, I want you to empathize, from kids right up to adults going to work, doing their jobs right now. Think about the instructions the kids had to receive from their parents. Look, I've been giving my daughter instructions from the time that she was leaving this house and being out there alone. And this part had very little to do with immigration. In this case, this had to do with her hue in Kingwood and letting her know that her behavior had to be different. I've been telling her that from the time she was 5 years old. Think about not having those burdens and how much freer it makes you and how much less unfree it makes others. I want all of you here to think about those things. These things are real. These things are real. Cheryl Elkins says, long quote, but relevant. Mass propaganda discovered that its audience was ready at all times to believe the worst, no matter how absurd, and did not particularly object to being deceived because it held every statement to be a lie anyhow. The totalitarian mass leader based their propaganda on the correct psychological assumption that under such conditions one could make people believe the most fantastic statements one day and trust it the next day. They were given irrefutable proof of their falsehood. They would take refuge in cynicism. Instead of deserting the leaders who had lied to them, they would protest that they had known all along the statement was a lie and would admire the leaders for their superior tactical cleverness. Hannah Arendt, The Origins of Totalitarianism, 1951. Thank you for that quote, Cheryl Elkin. Kimmy Wynn, welcome aboard, and I love you too, my dear. We have come to such a dark time, says Kimmy Wynn. Kimmy Wynn, we're at dark times, but it's up to us to change it, and we can. And that is one of the most, I wrote an article on Sunday, and I sent it out to my 22,000 people who actually get my newsletter. And I said, despair is not acceptable. Feeling bad is not acceptable. Demanding democracy is what's necessary. Demanding democracy peacefully, we can still get this done peacefully. Because those people in the military, those people in the police forces, they are you. They're your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. They have to understand that what they're doing on the outside also is what others would do to you. And it's a matter of getting involved, staying involved. If you keep allowing this slow slide, it's not only about the physical harm being done to the undocumented, it's also the economic harm that's being done to you. And that is what we should remember, the economic harm as well being done to you. Margaret, I can see your comments now. You said, hoping your Substack can read my comments. Yeah, but there's something happening with Substack. It seemed to me like, again, we're getting, the notifications are not all going out. And those of you that made a chime in Substack, did you get a notification at all? Please let me know, because notifications were supposed to go out. Folks, as I said in that little monologue there, it's Hispanic Awareness Day at my daughter's school, and she went to school with the dress. And what I want to do is, I'm so excited because let me tell you guys something, okay? And I'm going to back up. I'm getting out of context right now for a while. I went through hell over the last 5 years, as my daughter had over those 5 years. 2 strokes, one in the first month of 2020, the other one in 2021. And it was rough. Had to move to DC to take care of her for a while. She was in med school. She still got through finishing med school, but she couldn't really practice. And so she came home and recovered. Long recovery, very, very long recovery. And not only did she have a very long recovery, but she really had to think career-wise what's going to happen. We didn't. I honestly, when the second stroke occurred, I had prepared myself that my baby would have been bedridden for the rest of her life, etc. And she made a great, great comeback. And she started to figure out what she wanted to do, with her medical degree, etc. And she always loved teaching, and she became a teacher. And I can tell you, when I watch how happy she is doing it and how she loves the children, etc., I kind of have a feeling she has always been, she's always had that calling to be a teacher. So she's teaching right now, and today is Hispanic Awareness or Heritage Day at her school. And we went ahead, and her padrino got her one of our signature dresses that we use in Panama. It's a cultural thing, right? And the interesting thing is that the school that she teaches at is mostly Latino, people from all over, from South America, Central America, and Mexico. So today she wore her attire, and I'm gonna just take this time to show what it looks like. If you know what we have gone through over the last 5 years, this is something I had never expected. To see her being able to see her like this in this dress. This is our national dress in Panama, and just to see her like this after having 2 strokes, the second one being extraordinarily bad. It was just great to have her back. And I know you guys can, I know this isn't a part of the program or whatever, but I'm so beaming of the comeback that she's made, and being a teacher and doing all of that. I am just excited. That's all I can say. I'm excited, and more than anything else, proud of how hard she worked to come back from 2 major strokes. And let me also tell you guys, while it's difficult, no matter what illness you're going through, no matter what you're thinking, you can make that comeback. You can make that comeback quite a few times, and that is what's so great about it. So anyway, that's the end of my excitement. Let's get back to the program. It's just something I wanted to share. As you can see, just something I wanted to share. All right, I want to play Bernie. The Democratic Party has done a poor job in really explaining. Well, they're doing a much better job than they normally do, but it's still not good enough. But Bernie, as usual, Bernie and Ocasio-Cortez, they're doing an excellent job. And what I want to do is I want to play that so that you can also be aware of what these guys are actually doing as far as spreading the message, what the pullback is all about. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side. Well, I better get it up on the screen first, right? Here we go.
Washington, D.C., and who did I bump into? One of my favorite members of the United States Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And one of my favorite senators.
All right. Anyhow, as everybody knows, we are now in a government shutdown. Republicans are attacking Alexandria, attacking me. Why didn't you vote for this clean CR to keep the government open?
Well, there's nothing clean about it. This is one of the dirtiest tricks that is being pulled on the American people right now. Starting today, October 1st, and throughout the rest of the month, Americans across this country are going to start getting notifications that their insurance premiums are up to doubling. We're talking about...
Say that again.
Your monthly insurance premiums are going to double for millions of people across the country.
At a time when we are already paying, by far, the highest prices in the world for healthcare, at a time when people can't afford it right now. So what happens?
That means people getting bankrupt over chemotherapy, people going to the pharmacy and not being able to get their insulin. And frankly, it means a lot of Americans are going to be in danger. And Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. So what are we going to say to that, Bernie?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not only be in danger. Let's be clear. And it doesn't make me happy to have to say this, but there have been studies out there that when you combine doubling premiums for the ACA and then throwing 15 million people off of Medicaid and the ACA, the result is, according to studies at Yale and the University of Pennsylvania, 50,000 low-income, working-class Americans will die every single year. All right? If you don't have the money to go to a doctor and you're sick, you die. And that's what we're looking at. That's what this clean bill is about.
And so Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. And we're saying no. We need to stand up for the American people. We need to stand up for our healthcare system. And if they want our votes, they need to make sure that we're protecting every American and making sure that we can do what we can to continue to make healthcare accessible, affordable, as we work to make it a human right for all.
Right. So let me just back that up. Remember, right now, our healthcare system is broken. Right now, we're the only major country on earth not to guarantee healthcare to all people. And these guys want to make it even worse. We're not going to let that happen.
No, we're not.
Thank you.
Onward.
And that is what all of us need to know, understand, and put out there and let people know exactly what the shutdown is. The shutdown is all about. First of all, it's not a democratic shutdown. It is a shutdown done by Republicans because they refuse to provide the subsidies for the American people while they've given billions of subsidies to the corporations with the big, ugly bill. So while they may talk about spending, they had no problem spending and making it permanent for the corporations, for the wealthy, for the rich. But when it comes to humanity, they're willing. Think about this. The party that calls itself the party of life, the party that's pro-life. Remember, there's nothing pro-life about killing 50,000 people a year, as Bernie Sanders points out clearly in that video. There's nothing pro-life about that. We have to stop calling these people pro-life. We have to start calling them either pro-death or pro-birth. Nothing else. Because after that baby is born, they have no desire to do absolutely anything for the living. They don't want to provide subsidies for healthcare. They don't want to provide subsidies for daycare. They don't want to provide subsidies for food. They don't want to provide any of these things, even as their policies put people at risk. Even as their policies starve people, their policies make people hungry, their policies make people homeless. But they're the party of life? No, it's the party of death. It's the party of rugged individualism. And that's something we should want nothing or no part of. Welcome aboard E2247. Glad to have you here. Mike Cesek is in the house as well. Tom Zarnick has a limerick that I got to prepare to read. We also have in the house Carl Cox from Riverdale, Georgia. And I am pro to well, that's not one. And Joanne from Los Angeles, welcome, beautiful. May Woods from Long Beach, California. Love having all of you here. Danielle 831, thank you. Margaret Ryan, Sandra D, Jennifer Hunter. If I forgot you or missed you, Barbara Fetante de Austin, Texas. Thank you for being here, beautiful. And Bern, and everybody else. I can't call it all, but anyway, we have a limerick from our resident. You know, it's always great. We have our own resident poet. His name is Tom Zarnick, and Tom Zarnick has been long overdue for giving us his limerick. So here is his limerick. I haven't read it yet, so forgive me if I make a few mistakes. So I'm going to go with it hot. Ready to go? Political violence in the U.S. is on the rise, spurred on by our president's hatred and lies. Brutish, crude, and uncouth when confronted with the truth. Bluster is all he can muster as he sits in his awful office, surrounded by cheesy items of gold, sending out spiteful texts causing pain, contemplating what part of our nations is next. To be bought and sold for personal gain. Every law of the land he does flout. While the Democrats have no clout. Even in a shutdown, toothless words they spout. So how do we get rid of this clueless lout? Here's the answer to this presidential cancer. We the people, day and night, must protest and shout for what's true to our Constitution and morally right. Give Dole Joe and his cronies a message they cannot doubt. And you know how we'll end this big baby? He is what? Out! I love how you use the end of my shows in that limerick. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, that is from our resident poet. Welcome aboard, LBW, mi amigo, mi hermano de otra mamá, Arturo Dominguez. Welcome aboard, my brother. Charlotte, welcome aboard as well. Anyhow, so yes, folks, look. Thank you for that limerick, Mr. Sarnik. Very well done, as usual. I wish I had the skills to do that. Maybe I could make things a bit funnier. Michael Redden says, ICE will go after anyone. Your skin color will not act as a shield. The Guardian. Video surveillance footage shows a masked agent pushing 79-year-old citizen Rafi Ola Shawhead to the ground after entering his car wash business in Los Angeles on September 9th. That was a vicious throwdown that they had on this guy. These guys are animals. You have to realize they're given big money up front as sign-in bonuses. And they did an interview in a long line of those people that were applying. And you listen to these guys, they're all Trump, well, the ones that I heard interviewed were all Trump sycophants that sounded just like any other Trump sycophant. Before I move on to the other subject, please remember that this is also a call-in show. You can call me at 281-823-7747. I have to repeat it because it's a different number in the mornings. Somebody called in this morning and gave me a hell of a kudos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We always want to know how we're doing. Let me throw that call-in number as well. LBW says, are those ICE agents getting paid during the shutdown? I think they are. I think I read that they are getting paid. But I need to, I don't know that for a fact. I do not know that for a fact. All right, Rudnin has some numbers for us, and let's go ahead and put that onto the screen. Hold on, Radnin, I'm about to get it onto the screen right now, and it says the following. We asked 1,000 Americans who they blame for the shutdown. And let me see the chart. The Democrats, they blame 30%, and not sure 23%, and Republicans 47%. And you know what? As more of those things come in, as more of the bills come in for the ACA, as more people get their healthcare bills, I can guarantee you that those numbers are going to go up if the Democrats continue to push the message, a singular message. While this shutdown is also about freedom, while this shutdown is also about Donald Trump not following the law, because of how we've trained Americans to think, we have to highlight, we have to concentrate one issue. And the issue we want to concentrate on is one that people feel viscerally. And what do they feel viscerally? Healthcare. Healthcare. Because they're starting to see what is actually happening. Healthcare. So let's remember to help help the good people on this issue. The message, folks, is healthcare. That's what it's all about. Yes, ICE will continue to operate during the government shutdown, but I'm not sure how long that will remain before they run out of funding. So I thought I had read that, Michael. I thought I had read that. Okay, the next subject that I want to talk about is the unemployment report. As you know, this is a time when unemployment report is it was supposed to be released today. The numbers are all there, but they don't want to release it. Guess why? Because the numbers are bad. Rumor has it it's negative, meaning we're losing employment. So we have people being dumped out of the country and we're losing employment. Our beautiful Margaret, how you doing today, my sister? Turn the radio down, sis.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing great. Could you turn it down a little so that we don't get the over... There we go. All right, talk to me, Margaret. What's up?
I know that you were talking about health care, but my subject I want to talk to today is about immigration. Mm-hmm. And for those that listen to you that are come through Facebook and always the naysayers, the MAGA, and they think immigration, they got to get rid of everybody. I want them to say to themselves, if I lived in an apartment building, in the middle of the night, the whole building was ransacked, my children, my relatives, and they were herded out without clothes or pajamas, zip-tied, how would they feel? I think they need to be empathetic, and maybe they will understand that this is totally wrong. This is not getting rid of the drug cartels, the drug bad immigrants. That's how they touted it, but it's not what it is. So I just want maybe have you play the one segment that you explained asylum seekers and the differences between the immigrants and how they come to the U.S. Our system has been broken for 30 plus years. The bill that was put forward in Biden's administration by the Democrats that was not even voted on by Republicans because Trump said, no, that'll ruin my chances, don't vote for it. That money would have added much needed judges and money to a broken immigration system. So that's all I have to say, and it was more just about immigrants.
Look, I appreciate that, and I think you're talking about the segment that I did yesterday on... I'll play that again. That was the one, I believe, from a MAGA caller to the morning show. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll put that on for you. I don't think it's a long one, so I'll put that on for you, okay?
Great. Thank you very much for everything you do, Egberto.
Thank you so kindly, Margaret. All right, folks. Margaret, like I said, you guys ask, and so shall you ask, so shall you receive. So let's go ahead, and I'm pulling it up right now. I think I can get to it, and here we go with it. I think that was an important piece, and I think I'll have enough time to get to the report. So let's go ahead and do that. Gail, you're on.
I do not mean to elevate your blood pressure anymore. However, there is a question that I have that I just need to unload.
Before you continue, Gail, please don't ever think you have to hold back what you want to say. Please, I like the free thoughts, okay? So go for it, my brother.
I was speaking to my neighbor last night. Can you explain to me the hypocrisy about Bernie Sanders owning mansions, Pelosi being a millionaire because of behind the scenes or behind the deals of her office? The criticism that I get when they tell me that illegals were giving free housing, welfare, federal assistance, while we had to work our butts off to, pay our own bills. Can you explain to me what is the reality of all of that?
Thank you very much for that. And first of all, let's take Pelosi first, okay? Pelosi came straight out and said, when it came to being able to trade bonds, being in the Congress, and they don't have any rules that they have to follow, I am a capitalist. And she went on and said that I am completely opposed to what Pelosi did in that regards. I think any politician who goes out there and believe in trading when they're on the floor, etc., that's not my kind of politician. Now, that doesn't make me disrespect Pelosi for all the good things she have done for the middle class, but she has a definite blind spot and is absolutely wrong on that issue. When it comes to Bernie Sanders and how Bernie Sanders built his wealth by writing his book and selling his book and that sort of stuff, I don't have a problem. We recall Jeff called earlier and talked about being a blue collar worker, putting his money into investments, making quite a bit of money, living mostly off of investments, etc. I don't have a problem with that. The wealthy class use people like Jeff as tools because they make them believe that progressives like me are after their earned income. And heard what I just said? Earned income. Billionaires didn't earn their income. Bernie Sanders wrote a book, sold a book. Even somebody like, let's say, Beyonce and Oprah and others who they go out and perform and they earned. I think there needs to be some clapback because the airwaves that Oprah made her billions off of and the cameras that take her image elsewhere, those people have not been compensated. So we do need to have an adjustment to how we talk about your worth and how you make money. That's why some of us support things like basic income, etc., to cover those issues that says I can invent something and somebody else make billions off of it, and I'm never compensated for my invention the way the corporate structure works. That's one of the issues. So no, I'm not in favor of what Pelosi is doing. Bernie Sanders earned his money. Bezos did not. When it comes now to illegal issues now, like illegal aliens, etc., that you call them, I am a naturalized American citizen that did it the way that, that the government says to do it. I did it the right way. By the way, the Pilgrims didn't, but I did it the right way. And here's the thing. The lie is that when undocumented workers come over here, they get money and they get all these things. That's false. When asylum seekers come over here, they get those things because that is international law. If you go over to Germany, the same thing applies. If you go over to England, the same thing applies. Asylum seekers, that is what we're talking about. And while we're trying to figure out, because our system is so behind, because we're a humane country, while we're trying to determine if people are asylum seekers or not, we do one of two things. We actually allow them to go to work by giving them temporary visas to work. But if we can't give them temporary visas to work and we can't send them back to the country, we do take care of them. Now, there are some issues that you can talk about in Chicago, in New York, etc., where you have people trying to find homes. And then these folks are bussed into Chicago and they get taken care of. That creates a justifiable animosity. And what we should be doing is we should not have American citizens living in poverty because, again, it puts danger onto our humanity at large. Did I answer any of your questions at all, Brother Gil?
Yes, indeed you did. And I suspected all along that might have been the case when I was right now. I did not know about the international rule of law regarding asylum seekers.
I know they don't want you to know that, sir.
However, that doesn't give us the right, or any other country's right, to treat a human being inhumanely.
Thank you. Gil, do you notice something, Gil? You thought you called here for us to have a fight. And I think what you have proven is we don't necessarily have to agree 100%. But basically, because we all have for those of us who have humanity, when we actually understand things the way they really are and not the way they're programming us to be, we're actually pretty much thinking the same, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you for your call, my dear brother. And I need to get to some other calls and we don't have a lot of time. So thank you for calling. And that is the reality about immigration. And let me tell you the other reality. If you take a look at the shutdown, you have the Republicans lying about all this money going, that the reason why Democrats want to get the subsidies is because they want for illegal aliens. I mean, the thing about it is, these guys think their people that follow them are so stupid, right? Democrats are going to simply try. Democrats are so stupid that they are going to put the country that they are not going to vote for a bill that they know will cause Republicans to shut the country down, because they're trying to fight for undocumented immigrants. It doesn't even pass the smell test, but they think the people who follow them are that stupid. Think about it. They think their followers are that stupid that they will buy that. Well, apparently 30% of them do buy it, but it makes no sense, right? The truth of the matter is, folks, by law passed in 1996, undocumented immigrants don't get any of these services at all. There are a few exceptions that go as follows, and it goes with humanity. If somebody breaks their leg and they're bleeding out and they go to an emergency room, that person by law has to be cared for. It doesn't matter that person is Japanese or what they are. They will have to do it. Now, let's be very clear here. The reason why they use this thing is to create animosity among people. And unfortunately, it shouldn't work. LBW said, I saw a segment on Reels yesterday of Bernie Sanders visiting a Trump stronghold in West Virginia, and so many of those people actually came to the realization that they want the same things as Bernie. A lot can happen when you show people your humanity and care for them despite your differences. You nailed it, LBW. The thing about it, LBW, is the differences are made up. That's what I try to tell people. They are made up. They're made up. Anyhow, Rodney Egberto, can you play this SpongeBob cartoon? Only 1 minute long. You keep having me playing stuff, Michael. Let's see if I can do that. I'll try it. If I hear music, I'm going to have to stop it, though. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm doing this for Michael. Keep wanting me to play these things, and I want to oblige by my people. Let's see if I can, Michael. Let's see if I can. Okay, let's try it. Here we go.
This is horrible.
What is it, Doctor?
This man has no insurance.
He'll never be able to afford this room.
You're right, nurse. Extract the patient to the hallway. Stat!
Doctor?
Yes, doctor.
Regarding your patient, Doctor, I have come to this conclusion.
Yes, go on.
We have to surgically remove him from out in front of the candy machine so I can get to the Nutty Nut Bar.
Of course. Nurse!
I'm on it.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Administrator Flotsam, what can I do for you?
It has come to my attention that your patient, Mr. Krabs, is out on the front sidewalk.
Yes, he is.
Oh, what were you thinking, man? We're trying to run a business here. We can't leave patients on the sidewalk.
Not to worry. Nurse!
I'm on it.
Michael, only you would come up with something like this. The good one. Good job. Only you would come up with something like this, Michael. Good job. All right, Lee de Bearcat says, Egberto, please provide proof that no one gets help. Why would I have to prove a negative? Please provide proof that no one gets help. I never said no one gets help. I don't understand what the question is, Lee de Bearcat. I honestly don't understand what the question is. Maybe you should call in and tell me exactly what you're asking, because I don't know how much sense your question makes, my brother, and I say that with respect. LBW say, here is the link to those interested in sharing. Thank you for that. Is it a Bernie link? Let's see what it is. Let's see if it's a Bernie link that we're talking about here. Okay. Let's see what that is. Oh, okay. That I think that is okay. Let me go ahead and play that. Let's see how long it is first of all. Oh no, it's too long. It's too long. It's 16 minutes and we don't have the time for that. But thank you for that. I'm going to take a look at that afterwards. Thank you for that. I am going to take a look at that. All right, let's get to this a quick subject before I forget. The jobs report was supposed to be released today. Of course, it was not. Of course, it was not. So what does that mean? People's Job Report, however, from economic justice campaigners show harm of GOP policies. Let me put that on the screen as I talk about it. It goes like this. With the U.S. government entering the third day of a shutdown Friday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics didn't release the monthly jobs report as scheduled, but one economic justice group said that even without the official analysis of the labor market, it is clear that President Donald Trump and the Republican Party policies have devastated workers and families, with the shutdown making matters worse for millions. Unrig Our Economy provided its own People's Job Report to fill the gaps left by Republicans who have refused to agree to the Democrats' demanding to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies and reverse Medicaid cut spending bill to keep the government open. Trump and the GOP leaders have falsely claimed that Democrats are demanding free health care for undocumented immigrants who are not eligible for government-run health care programs like Medicaid. The Democratic Party and experts have warned that the expiration of the ACA would raise health premium by 75% for millions of Americans. Unrig Our Economy noted in its Jobs Day report that the expiration of the tax credits could also cost the U.S. economy nearly 300,000 jobs in the next year, including 130,000 jobs lost because of direct reduction in the provision of hospital, physician, and other ambulatory care, as well as reduction in pharmacy-related services. As the Commonwealth Fund reported in March, 156,000 jobs could be lost next year in sectors including manufacturing, retail, and real estate as a result of the direct or induced effects of healthcare funding losses, with rural communities among the hardest hit. Which communities are the hardest hit? Rural communities. So what did you do, my dear brothers in rural communities? Voted against your own interests. About 13,000 jobs were lost in June, the group noted, the first time the economy lost jobs since 2020. Imagine that. The unemployment rate in last month's BLS report was 4.3, the highest since 2021. Unemployment claims also rose to nearly 2 million in August, the highest since 2021, while Trump's tariff policies have caused chaos for employers, including small businesses, where employment has dropped by 26,700 since the president took office for his second term in January. So as you can see, Donald Trump has turned out to be a complete F-up. Think about it. He got an economy that was firing on all cylinders, and it took him less than 9 months to take us from a strong economy to an economy, if not in a recession, on the brink of a recession, if not a depression. That is what Donald Trump has done. Eric Hayes, even with that 900K adjustment, our brother El Senor Biden has been millions of jobs in the positive direction. So not even with an adjustment of 900,000 people did it affect that he was actually a job creator. All right, in the tariff-related industry, payrolls fell by what? 90,100 jobs, including 42,000 jobs. Lauren, how you doing? Talk to me.
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I am doing fine. Talk to me. How you doing?
So I have a question about the healthcare fight and the messaging that the Democrats are trying to get across. I want your opinion on the two different ways that this could go. Obviously, the Democrats are begging the Republicans to not hurt people, and that's a beautiful message. But do you think it would make a stronger point for things to happen, right, without intervention, and then people feel the pain and then make the choice in the following election because they're going to be hurting? Because clearly if we pay attention to the past, the United States citizens don't award the party for preventing things happening. They award the party after things have already happened to them. So how do we parse this out? I don't want anybody to lose their health insurance, but would it be more effective?
You know, let me call you a genius, first of all, because I have been fighting with this. In fact, I'm going to play an interview that I did with Pacifica Network where I said just that. And in fact, I played one that I did with WBAI, which I said, I don't know. I don't know. The reason why, because what you said is important. But here's a problem, Lauren. Progressives believe in humanity. And we always err on the side of if we can get that much more for somebody so that they have a good life, we do it. Supposedly, we don't always look at the politics in it, which is what you're stressing right there. Now, here's where I came down, okay? I came down at the Republicans being much better marketers than we are, meaning progressives and Democrats.
Messaging versus policy.
Right. But here's the kicker. I could see that if the Democrats simply went ahead and allowed the CR to go, get no health care for the people, that the marketing from the Republican would be, if they cared so much about you, why didn't they do something when we had the CR? Why didn't Democrats do anything if they cared for you? Vote for us. We have a better plan. We just haven't put it out yet, but it's coming. Now,
maybe the transparency needs to be, the transparency in marketing is like, hey guys, we're trying to save you.
And
clearly you don't want to be saved. And
no. Here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to be successful with them passing the bill to put the subsidies back in. But when I saw on TV that you had commercials or ads being run by conservative organizations telling Cornyn to pass the bill to add subsidies back into the thing, that gave me pause. It's like, oh, they have some internal polling numbers. They've got some internal polling numbers.
Also, you're just pulling your hair out trying to get the Democrats to understand that when they are messaging, they need to pull a Jasmine Crockett and they need to throw the whole frying pan into the message. They don't need to stay on this is just about healthcare. This is about a corrupt government that we don't want to fund. This is about the vile, cruel things that are being done to our immigrant neighbors, as well as healthcare, as well as crypto scams, as well as all the other things that are happening, and we don't want to fund that. We can't conscionably fund that.
You know what?
It needs to be baked into the messaging.
Lauren, you got it. Maybe you need to go ahead and put yourself as a consultant to the party, because here's something else. No, I'm serious. Let me tell you something else that's happening. Right in Virginia, we have already said that the big bad ugly bill is going to create all these problems. Right in Virginia, already 3 hospitals closed, and not only did they close, they said that they're closing because of the big beautiful bill. They interviewed 2 people. They interviewed a Republican and a Democrat. The Republican said it's a good thing because they'll get better care elsewhere. The Democrat says, we told you so. Here's my problem. The Democrats, as soon as those hospitals close, they should have a contingent. They should have had a bus that drove into Virginia at the hospitals that close with the big press conferences saying, first casualty of the big bad beautiful bill. Here's what we are going to do about this hospital that's closed if you elect us in 2026. But none of that got done. I listened to Hakeem Jeffries and I listened to Chuck Schumer, and I go to sleep. I listen to Ocasio-Cortez and I listen to Bernie Sanders, and I see somebody that is actually reaching people. LVW, Professor LVW in our chat just showed us a video that of Bernie going into enemy country, and actually the enemy country folks approaching him. So look, maybe I think, where are you? You're in Austin, right? I see that based on what I see on the numbers. Is that correct?
Oh no, that's my old number from where I grew up and went to college. I'm in Kingwood with you. I met you at Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, that's a lot. That long. Okay. Well, I can't. I couldn't possibly know. I don't know the sound of your voice over a phone.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe
yeah, I'm super hyper local.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny. By the way, I went to UT. I used to have a 512 number also. But remember, I went in the days when these things weren't transferable.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Oh, you sound like a youngster. What's wrong with you? You sound. I mean, what can I say?
No, I'll be 46 in 10 days.
You're a youngster. You're a youngster.
Thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
I wanted to kind of figure out where you were on that messaging, because I think it honestly might be better if people feel the pain, and that's sad to know, but it's also reality.
But here's the thing: you can actually make the cases. I tell everybody we're all mini antennas, and we can put that message out there. But thank you so kindly, Lauren.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
You too now. Anyway, folks, look, let me tell you guys, we don't have any time left. Lauren called and took all the time. She took all the time. But anyhow, folks, please support the program however you can. How can you do that? Just go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter and please become a paid subscriber. If you become a paid subscriber, you get to see, all those books that you see on the screen. You get to read that free of charge. You're a part of the team. And other perks that if you go into the About section, you'll see. So please go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. And that's how we do it here. I got to get out of here. My name is, first of all, love you all. Thank you for calling. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.